Sweet. And now, back to a chilled atmosphere. These things that look like security cameras are security cameras. They're always on and always susceptible to the beam. They're also going to become a common fixture of levels from now on. I don't think I've mentioned this yet in a video, but it's not necessary to collect the stars. There's no reward for getting all of them, they just function as currency. Doesn't stop me from going back for one or two of them though. Welcome to the first part of the game that my computer just cannot run at 60 frames per second, the sitting room. Thankfully, we don't spend too much time here. Four limbs, 4 offshoot areas, and 4 secret constellations to collect as well. The King and Queen? If we have to meet them just to get the buses running, I swear to God. Another door that doesn't open unless an enemy is killed. We'll be back there later. I wish I hadn't destroyed both of those blocks. One of the secret constellations is up there. I was under the impression that a beam stemming from the lower platform wouldn't give me enough height to get up there, so I futzed around with trying to jump around from the upper platform for a little while. It is possible, and it would have looked cool if I'd actually gotten it, but instead we get a few more seconds of this. And now a brief example of what happens in PID when you panic. After the caves in the attic function as an extended tutorial for most of the basics, and the dining halls are more pure platforming, the sitting room is the first area where the platforming sections start having slight puzzle elements to them as well. That bit right there with the moving platform was the first time I had to pause and think about what I was doing when I first played the game. Having those spikes there seems unfair, but that would only be the case if you immediately jumped. The camera gives a nice pan down to show them if you pause to let it. I do not like the spinning cameras. Even though it's simple enough to keep them out of the way, I'd always manage to have it acting consistently and get me killed. They also only ever appear in this section of the game. I don't think they're anywhere else in the whole game. Alright, here's one of the guards who took the door lady's limbs. This one is a more puzzly mini-boss than the other three, and also the only one affected by the beam. Right now I'm trying to get up to the pull switch, and for some reason I keep thinking that I can only get up there from the right side. Give it a few seconds. And that's how you take care of that guard. You could also throw bombs at it, but I don't know if all three are enough to destroy it. You can do all four in any order, as the layout suggests. I always end up doing the bottom one first since it's the easiest to get to, and the order I'm going in here puts the guards holding the limbs in what I consider the most puzzly to the least puzzly order. You'll see what I mean. This offshoot is focused around dangerous drops. For starters, there's this whole sequence of platforming down above a bottomless chasm, and up top there's several spike beds. Is that the first time we've seen the flying rocket launcher? I think it is. They aren't that dangerous so long as you leave them alone. Even if they're red, trying to manipulate them just ends in pain. They don't attack you directly and normally stay out of your way, so just moving at a constant rate is enough to outmaneuver their rockets. Secret area to the left. There's the blocks telegraphing its presence, but really, unless you throw the gem at every single wall in the entire game, most of the hidden areas are going to remain hidden. Now this guard isn't really a puzzle, but the way you damage it is less direct than the remaining two, so I do it second. It can be easy to trap yourself here between lasers and rockets and guards and vision cones, but it's ultimately not that bad a fight. No secret constellations in this offshoot, because there's two in the next. This offshoot has a lot of skippable sections, and also a lot of these new switches activated by the beam. That video stutter there actually happened during the recording. It made me fall down and really annoyed me. Okay, this first door you can skip by putting the beam on the side of the ledge. Unnecessary, but possible. This room you can go above, and since there's a secret constellation to be gained, that's exactly what I'll do. It is fairly precise though, and that moving block won't help. Unfortunately, the moving blocks have a really weird AI pattern that leaves them floating on their own if you're not close enough to them, so I spend a little bit here just trying to lure it down into a beam. Now then, to get up, you need to float up next to the slanted surface and use the upward momentum along with a horizontal beam to get enough height to hit the higher wall. It's precise and annoying, and it's one of the worst secret constellations. Thankfully, most of them aren't that annoying. Just some of them. The magnetic nature of locks and keys is going to be very helpful later on. No idea why I showed it here, since I'll be doing it at least once much later, but that is how you can climb up onto a surface if you don't have an opposing wall. Okay, now we're supposed to open this door and go through, but instead by using the door as a surface we can go over here, which you would never think to do, and get another secret constellation. From here it's possible to skip ahead a bit by going upwards, but that's a little uninteresting and not what you'd do if it was your first time playing, so here's what would have happened. Oh, it just occurred to me watching this now, that block there probably means that there's a secret area in that little column. Oh, damn. Whoops. That's better. The next section you could just jump down and hit the bottommost switch, but it doesn't really skip anything. It's mainly because I don't think I've ever figured out exactly how the rockets follow you, but I don't particularly like this mini-boss. It's simple, but the rockets almost always stop circling back around right before they hit the guard. It might be easier to manipulate them if you let them fly around a little first, but then you run the risk of having lots of rockets in this relatively small space. One more offshoot to go, with one more secret constellation, and 2 more new mechanics. Pressure plates, activated by boxes, Kurt, and enemies. That's that puzzle solved, but since I'm an idiot, let me show the path to this vest that I don't currently need and put myself in this unfavorable position. Yep, saw that coming. This whole offshoot is a pretty extensive introduction to the pressure plates, which is odd considering we don't see them too much for the rest of the game. And the other new mechanic that we don't see too much of, vents. You automatically go through them, but you do have to choose to exit them. That'll be important later. This room is very simple, so obviously there's a secret to be found. As soon as I kill this drone, I can start climbing. The existence of this secret is annoying mostly because it instills the paranoia that every single wall that you can climb up could have something hidden at the top of it. And finally, the most direct mini-boss of these four. We just have to bomb the guard to death. With the inventive ways that you have to take care of the other three, this one feels a little lazy, honestly. Nothing like a big, satisfying button to push. Alright, let's fix this door lady up and get a move on. Next stop, the dormitory.